Hey everyone, this is FaZe and welcome to my channel. I am super excited because we are just 1 week away from Apple announcing all new iPads, and we're expecting an all new iPad Air and an iPad Pro. It's something not just me, but a lot of people have been waiting for. And like I said, we're just 1 week away because Apple announced that they're going to be having their Let Loose event on May 7th. And if you look at the way Apple sent out invites for this new Let Loose event, it's basically an Apple logo that is in different variations drawn by an Apple Pencil. So that's a huge indicator that we're seeing new iPads and perhaps even a new Apple Pencil. But anyways, let's just go over a quick roundup of what we should be expecting at next week's event. So I want to first actually start off with the iPad Pro because that is a device that I'm most excited about. Now, for the past couple of years, there have been many rumors suggesting that Apple is thinking about increasing the sizes for both the iPad Pro 11-inch and the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. So the 12.9-inch was rumored to go 13.1 inches, and the 11-inch would be 11.1 inches. But according to the most recent rumors from Mark Gurman, he's actually expecting the sizing of the iPad to stay the same for the iPad Pro. So we should still be expecting an 11-inch model and a 12.9-inch model. Though we're not seeing a bigger screen size, we're apparently going to see drastically thinner iPad Pros. So the current 11-inch iPad Pro is at 5.9 millimeters. The new one should be 5.1 millimeters. The current 12.9-inch iPad Pro is 6.4 millimeters, and the new one will be around 5 millimeters. So these are going to be crazy thin devices. And here are some CAD drawings of the 11-inch and the 12.9-inch. Very excited for them to be thinner. And I think that does make a difference, especially when you put it on a Magic Keyboard. So I think by making the actual device thinner, the overall package with the keyboard and stuff becomes thinner as well. But that's as far as the sizing is concerned. But the major improvement is actually with the display, because finally the iPad Pro is getting an OLED display. This is something that I've really wanted because you get deeper blacks, faster refresh rates, improved contrast. And as a content creator, especially with video editing, that makes a huge difference. And actually, it's rumored that Apple is said to be using by far the best OLED tablet panels on the market. Now, there's also a rumor that Apple might be incorporating or introducing a matte display option, which I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that will happen because I feel like that drastically increases the price of the display. And when you're looking at an iPad Pro, I don't think people want to be spending thousands of dollars just on the iPad because they also need an Apple Pencil, a keyboard or something to go with it. And at that point, you might as well just get a Mac, right? So I don't know how true this rumor is, but apparently if the matte screen is being offered, it would drastically minimize glare and reflections. I would really like that, but if it's a much more expensive option, I don't know if I'd go for it because the iPad Pro is also rumored to have a price hike as well. So they're going to be a little more expensive, and having a matte option would only make it even more expensive. Now, here is where things get interesting. For the past few months or even a year, I think it was pretty much a given that the new iPad Pro is going to have the M3 chip. But now, over the past few days, there's a new rumor floating around that there's a strong possibility that the new iPad Pro will actually use an M4 chip that's basically aimed for AI, using artificial intelligence applications on the new iPad Pro. And apparently that's how Apple will be marketing the new iPad Pro, for heavy AI usage. It's kind of interesting that the M4 chip is being introduced on an iPad before a Mac. Now, the most powerful MacBook in the market right now is the MacBook Pro, and that uses M3. Yes, there's variations of M3 Pro, M3 Pro Max and all that, but there's no Mac in the market that has an M4 chip. So to see an iPad get an M4 before a Mac, that's kind of interesting. It kind of seems a little unlike Apple. But if that's the case, I'm glad because M4 will be crazy fast, but I think it'll be great for AI optimization as well. Now, another thing that I always wanted for the iPad Pro was for the front-facing camera to be in the center when you're using it in landscape mode. Right now, when I'm doing FaceTime calls or Zoom calls, I always look like I'm looking away. It's like I'm looking like this when I should be looking like this. And finally, the rumor is that the new iPad's camera will be upright when the iPad is positioned in the landscape orientation. So I'm very grateful for that. Now, another thing that may or may not happen is MagSafe charging. If they do that, that'd be fantastic because you'll finally get wireless charging on an iPad Pro, but we'll see if that actually ends up happening or not. Apple might offer up to 4 terabytes of storage, even though it's a little overkill. So it's good to have that as an option. And apparently a new Magic Keyboard is in the works as well. So that is something I'm really excited about because when I'm using the iPad Pro, it's basically attached to the Magic Keyboard 99% of the time. So rumor has it from Mark Gurman, it will be redesigned in a way that makes it much more laptop-like, aluminum-based, and it's going to have a larger trackpad. Now that is something I really, really want, but I just hope that doesn't drastically increase the price of the Magic Keyboard. That is something I'm a little nervous about because they are trying to make it more laptop-like, larger trackpad, using some aluminum for more sturdiness, but I just hope it's not overly expensive. All right, next, let's talk about the iPad Air. Now, it's not going to have as many drastic changes as the iPad Pro, but there is going to be an all-new 12.9-inch model. And it's apparently going to look just like the iPad Air right now, but just a bigger version of it. And it's also going to incorporate the landscape-oriented camera for FaceTime calls as well. So once again, I think a lot of people are going to like that. There were rumors that it was going to be a mini LED display, but apparently there's new rumors over the past few days that have come out that are saying, no, it's going to use the current display technology of the current Air and not the current display technology of the current iPad Pro. So there's going to be the current 10.9-inch display size and also a 12.9-inch display size with the new landscape front-facing camera. I think for those who want the larger display in a iPad Air form factor will love it. But we don't even know what the rumor is in terms of the chip they're going to be using. For the longest time, it was rumored that it's going to have the M2 chip, but now I'm thinking it might have the M3 chip if the iPad Pro gets the M4 chip. But once again, we'll all know all the clear details next week. So it's also rumored quite heavily that we're going to be introduced to an all-new Apple Pencil, a third-generation Apple Pencil that is going to include haptic feedback and new gestures. So apparently, you can squeeze your Apple Pencil for functionality, and you'll get haptic feedback on it as well. It might even have Find My incorporated in it as well. So if you lose it, you can easily track it through your iPad or your iPhone or Apple Watch or whatever, right? All right, so at the end of the day, I'm super excited about the new Apple event. I think this is something that I've been waiting for such a long time, even more than the iPhone. I've been really wanting to get my hands on a new iPad Pro. And finally, next week, Apple is going to introduce it. It was rumored for quite some time that Apple was probably just going to do a press release and just announce the iPad that way. But now to have a dedicated event to announce the iPads means that it's probably going to be quite a substantial upgrade. But anyways, stay tuned next week. Right after the event is over, I'll do a full recap video. If you enjoyed this video, like it and subscribe to my channel for all things Apple and Tesla, and I'll see you next time.